GROTTI is one of the most cherished names in the automotive industry. Their racing exploits have not been matched by anyone throughout history in terms of success, and their performance road division is the envy of everyone. There's a high probability, no matter what car you buy from them, it is going to be fast, it is going to be good looking, and it is going to be red. And well, we're talking about this guys for a reason, because they got a new GROTTI coming out. It's red, it's fast, and well, if you look at it on, say, I don't know, the slopes of an Italian mountainside, you certainly wouldn't call it an ugly car, would you? Unironically, some of the best side profile lines in any car today. It looks gorgeous. We're just going to ignore the back end. I don't know what the weird divot is. But I did have a problem with this car before I even saw it. As soon as I got word, I was allowed to test it. And that problem that I have requires a bit of an explanation. See, this on my right is the GROTTI Stinger GT, while this is the GROTTI Itali GTO. So, this new GROTTI is the Itali GTO Stinger TT, which has to be the stupidest name I've ever heard. It's awful, but they did promise that it would be fast, and allow me to demonstrate just how fast I'm talking about. Traction is abysmal off the line because of the rear-wheel drive nature of it, but once you get that traction, it is a rocket ship. This thing is stupidly fast, as in it's not just one of the fastest cars I've ever driven, it's the fastest production car in the world. And to tell you how crazy that speed is, let's put it into some context, okay? This vehicle that we're looking at now is the Akula stealth attack helicopter developed for the military. Yep, it's slower than the Itali. Even this Cold War era Delta Wing bomber is slower than the Itali in a straight line. This is one hell of an impressive machine in the straights. But what happens when you take it to a corner? This is usually where straight line speed oriented vehicles struggle. Well, I'll tell you what, this vehicle may not be for everyone, but I really like it. It's not twitchy and dangerous like the Itali GTO was, the actual Itali GTO. But it's definitely not smooth to drive. It keeps you on the edge of your toes. It's very demanding behind the wheel because there is so much power and such little traction from the rear wheels. It really does just want to spin them up every time. And that makes it really fun. It's an old school car. It doesn't have any aero. That thing on the back is completely useless. Look at the size of it. Not only is it horribly proportioned, it is useless in terms of downforce generation. So it has that old school feeling of massive power, rear wheel drive, simplistic aerodynamics. Let's just make the thing go fast. And I really like that. Oh, it's fantastic. But it does have modern suspension, modern tires, so you can control it if you get used to how it feels. And once you do, it's so nice. There really aren't many cars like it in this place. That edge of your seat, certainly sports cars, edge of your seat, but fun. There's plenty of terrifying cars that you don't want to drive because they bounce around or go all over the place. But this really doesn't have that issue. It is quite nice. You can see I'm really thrashing over these bumps and crests, and it's not really giving me any issues here. And that means when you put your foot down, all that horsepower going to the rear wheels in a very controllable chassis and good suspension means it's an absolute riot. But strangely, despite being massively powerful, I would not actually consider this car the easiest car I had to drive or slide around. And that's because of something that you can't control with chassis dynamics or suspension. And that is the gearbox and the electronic aids. It doesn't let you hold the slide. I know that's not going to be a problem for anyone ever, but I'll give you a good example of what I'm on about. So here, it's nice and fine, nice and controllable, but then I want to do a slide here and it just runs out of steam because it's buzzing the limiter and it won't shift how I want it to. Really annoying because it has a lot of horsepower and it just, sometimes the electronics get in your way. When they don't get in your way, you can chuck it, but that electronic MacGuffin is just a little bit too over the line for me. So, how would I say this car actually is? Well, it looks great from some angles, not so great from others. It's very controllable if you get used to it. It's a proper edge-of-your-seat fighter pilot vehicle, which you don't get very much of these days. So, all of those issues, the styling, quirks, the gearbox, the electronics, they're all superficial, they don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, so there is only one crime this car commits. It costs $4 million.